In the heart of New York City, amidst the towering skyscrapers and bustling crowds, a young woman named Sarah hurried home. She felt unwell. A cough rattled her chest, and each breath grew increasingly difficult. Her apartment was small, cramped, but familiar. She struggled off her coat, her steps heavy. Little did she know that her world, like millions of others, was about to change. A few blocks away, a single mother named Maria cradled her son Matteo in the evening twilight. He was feverish, listless, and the usual sparkle in his eyes had faded. His cough echoed in the stillness of their tiny apartment. Similarly, in the vast plains of Texas, an elderly couple, George and Martha, held each other's hands. George's labored breathing echoed the weariness in his wife's heart. Their years together were countless, and now they faced a new challenge. These stories, seemingly distant, are intricately linked to a tiny virus far beyond our immediate perception. It is not visible to the naked eye, yet its impact can be monumental. The summer of 2025 had arrived, bringing with it the promise of relaxation and renewal. After years of pandemic restrictions, the world was reopening. The beaches were packed with laughing children. Concert halls resonated with music, and the air buzzed with the excitement of a world returning to normal. But beneath this veneer of normalcy, a silent threat was brewing. On June, in the vibrant city of Austin, Texas, doctors noticed a surge in patients seeking treatment. They came with troubling symptoms, persistent coughs, fever, and an alarming struggle to breathe. At first, it seemed like a routine spike in respiratory cases. But soon, a disturbing pattern emerged. Genetic testing revealed the culprit, a new strain of the virus named Stratus XFG. Unlike its predecessors, Stratus presented a puzzle. Initially, it appeared less lethal, causing fewer deaths and less severe symptoms. Headlines around the world proclaimed it was not 2020 all over again. A sense of calm washed over the globe. People shed their masks, embraced social gatherings, and basked in the euphoria of freedom regained. But the lull was deceptive. Within weeks, the number of cases doubled, then tripled. The virus spread silently, relentlessly. By mid-August, the United States reported more than 1 million infections. Schools that had reopened their doors were forced to close them again. The ghost of the past loomed over the horizon. Fear began to creep back into people's hearts. The memories of the pandemic's initial waves were still fresh. The trauma of lockdowns, the loss of loved ones, the haunting sound of sirens in the night. And now this new variant threatened to pull the world back into the abyss. Yet amid the chaos and confusion, a ray of hope emerged. Scientists raced against time to develop a vaccine. In a feat of modern science, they created a formula designed to neutralize Stratus. But while the vaccine was ready by late June, it couldn't reach the masses immediately. The summer wave caught many nations off guard. Vaccines remained in labs or warehouses awaiting shipment. Distribution networks, once dismantled, struggled to gear up. And as the virus surged, so did anxiety. Parents clutched their children close, dreading the coughs and fevers that could strike at any moment. The elderly looked on, remembering the toll the virus had taken in the past. Families argued, hoarding supplies, canceling outings, seeking safer havens. Social media platforms became battlegrounds of misinformation and blame. Conspiracy theories spread faster than the virus itself. Some claimed Stratus was a hoax, while others insisted it was a sign of an even greater threat lurking in the shadows. Amidst this maelstrom, everyday life was disrupted. Events were canceled, travel plans abandoned. The joy of summer faded into a haze of uncertainty. Stores emptied as panic buying returned. The hum of industry was replaced by the murmur of shuttered factories and farms. There were shortages of food, medicine, masks. The virus had woven its tendrils deep into the fabric of society. But in the darkest moments, humanity's spirit often shines brightest. Communities rallied. Local clinics transformed into 24/7 testing centers. Pharmacies became hubs of information and relief. Volunteers braved the virus's march, delivering food, medicine, and crucial information to those in need. The kindness of strangers echoed in empty hallways of hospitals, where doctors and nurses toiled tirelessly. They donned protective gear, offering comfort, treatment, and hope to those who seemed most vulnerable. With limited resources and overflowing wards, their courage was the shield against chaos. Parents made sacrifices, adjusting work schedules to care for children. Schools shifted to online classes once again, ensuring education didn't falter. Teachers adapted, guiding students through a maze of technology, bridging the gaps between physical classrooms and computer screens. Each parent, each teacher, each volunteer added a thread to the tapestry of resilience. But as the days turned into weeks, the urgency grew. The Stratus variant was spreading, evolving, and soon it would mutate. Researchers sounded alarms. If Stratus mutated further before the vaccines arrived, a second wave could paralyze the world once more. Governments grappled with the crisis, racing against time to accelerate shipments. Cargo planes loaded with vaccine vials sat ready on runways, headlights cutting through the darkness as they waited for clearance. But production facilities were already stretched to their limits. Supply chains, weakened by years of disruption, creaked under the pressure. Every day lost meant more infections, more hospitalizations, more lives at risk. The world stood poised on a knife edge, teetering between hope and despair. By early September, Stratus had touched every corner of the United States. Over 2 million children had tested positive since June. The virus had breached borders, crossing oceans to infect thousands more abroad. In Chicago, pediatric ICUs overflowed, forcing transfers to adult wards. Houston hospitals appealed for reinforcements, their supplies dwindling. Los Angeles emergency rooms resembled battlefields, with medics working tirelessly to stabilize patients. Television screens showed scenes reminiscent of the pandemic's darkest days. Images of overcrowded hospitals, desperate pleas for help, and somber reports of rising death tolls. Words like crisis, capacity, and contagious dominated headlines. The weight of these words pressed down on the American psyche. Yet amid this turmoil, a glimmer of defiance shone through. On September, the cavalry arrived. Trucks rumbled out of pharmaceutical plants, headlights piercing the gathering gloom. Inside the refrigerated containers, hope rested in the form of vaccine vials. As the first shipments reached hospitals, a collective sigh of relief echoed across the nation. Medical staff prepared to administer doses, ready to begin the arduous task of inoculation. But the arrival of vaccines was not the end. It was a beginning. A new chapter in the ongoing struggle against Stratus. The war had raged for months, leaving casualties in its wake. But with the deployment of vaccines, a counter-offensive began. The battle against the virus had entered a new phase, one that demanded precision, speed, and unwavering determination. In the face of Stratus, the summer of 2025 became a defining moment. It was a test of humanity's adaptability, a testament to the indomitable spirit that rises in the face of adversity. From the bustling streets of New York to the quiet suburbs of Ohio, from the sun-drenched shores of California to the rolling plains of Texas, a shared resolve emerged. It was a resolve born from sacrifice, forged in the fires of resilience, and tempered by the hardships endured. It was the resolve to survive, to adapt, and to emerge stronger on the other side of the storm. As the first doses were administered, a sense of cautious optimism settled over the land. It was not a naive hope, but a hard-earned understanding that knowledge, preparedness, and unity were the most potent weapons against the unseen enemy. In the coming weeks, months, and perhaps years, Stratus would continue to pose challenges. There would be setbacks, mutations, and agonizing choices. But America and the world had come too far to turn back now. The scars of the pandemic's past were still fresh, serving as reminders of the virus's tenacity. But they also spoke of the strength that had been summoned, the sacrifices that had been made, and the lives that had been saved. The battle against Stratus was far from over, but humanity had proven time and again that it possessed the resilience to endure and the ingenuity to prevail. The road ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear. The summer of 2025 would be remembered not only as a time of struggle and loss, but also as a testament to the unyielding spirit of humanity's survival.